I'd be perfectly fine if I stayed this way forever. Nothing on my mind, and I've never felt better. The only thing I really know is that I don't know a thing. The only sound that I hear now is the silence when I sing. The only sight my eyes can see is the darkness of my dreams. This is how I'm born to be. This is how I'm born to be. Empty. My soul remembers your voice when all I hear is frustration and doubt. My soul remembers your grace when the hurt is searing as a desert. Still I never go without. My soul remembers. My soul remembers your touch when my body yearns to be cradled like a child. My soul remembers your strength when a heavy burden's weighing on me. I am sheltered all the while, sheltered all the while, whether at war or at peace, awake or asleep, whether I'm walking the streets or diving the ocean deep, whether it's winter or spring, whether I cry or sing. Oh, my soul remembers. My soul remembers your power when I fear I cannot do what must be done. My soul remembers your mercy, blessing the deepest doubt I harbor with the heat of the sun, with the kiss of the sun, whether at war or at peace, awake or asleep, whether I'm walking the streets or diving the ocean deep, whether it's winter remembers. Oh, my soul remembers. Oh, my soul remembers. My soul remembers your love when the world is bearing unbearable pain. My soul remembers your love shimmering over us, a rainbow rising after the rain. Whether at war or at peace, awake or asleep, whether I'm walking the streets or diving the ocean deep, if I'm alone or in a crowd, feeling humble or proud, silently sulking about or laughing out loud, whether I'm right or I'm wrong, standing timid or strong, wherever on earth I belong. And when my last breath is gone, whatever I do, whatever I seek, safe in your arms.
Okay, just 1 second. I gotta know how to turn. How do I turn it off? me hold it for you.
It's not wick, the wick is too buried, honey. The wick is buried.
So hold the fire at an angle. Okay, well then we are.
We're done.
Yeah, and one more. Please join us in our welcoming chant. Welcome to unity, where truth is taught, love is well. Let's do that one more time, and I'll get it right. Welcome to unity, where love is felt. Welcome to unity, where truth is taught, lives are transformed, and all is well as we express the Christ within. How fun. So the words are true no matter what order, right? And we're so glad you're all here. And I'm Ann Young, and I'm the Sunday service leader for today, and it's my honor to be here with you. And we are in divine order. We're sort of creating as we go. And so I just want to ask, I would just like to pray in our service. So let's just take a moment and go within, into the heart space, realizing that we are here by divine appointment, that every moment of this day, of this service, of this time together here in unity has been prepared for us specifically. And so we receive the blessings that are coming and the blessings of life. And we are so grateful, grateful, grateful. And so it is. So is there anybody here for the first time today? So not in this space, and if there's someone here for the first time online, we want you to know that we're glad you're here and we welcome you. So today our guest speaker is Reverend Polly Dozier. And she's going to talk on, the title of her talk is, You Are the One Who Decides. How empowering is that? So I'll tell you more about Polly in a little bit, but for now I just want to introduce Alejandro, who's on our tech desk, and we are so grateful for him. And our prayer chaplain today is Rupali. She's been here creating sacred space for the service, and she will remain for half an hour afterward to pray with you. Because we all know that prayer is a foundation of unity. And so it's important that we have prayer chaplains. So the room right behind this window is where you'll find Rupali for private one-on-one prayer if you wish. So let's see, music with our own Rebecca Vincent. We're so glad to have you back. And right now, the president of the board, Gabe Coleman, is out in the gathering area. He's the board member on duty. He's just keeping everything flowing for us so we can just relax. So I have some announcements. Dr. Christina Gilman, wave your hand or stand up, is continuing to offer her relationship skills classes on Tuesdays until June 20th. So every Tuesday from now till the 20th of June, 10:30 in the morning till 12 noon. Any week you can join. I've been signed up from day one, haven't gotten there yet. Hopefully this week I'll be there. She's so lovely to give us that flexibility. And so in that class, we practice tools to effectively, considerately express opinions, needs, wants, caring, and forgiving. There's no set syllabus. Each session flows based on the interest and needs of the students, and please invite your friends. So for other announcements, stay tuned with us on our website, unitygainesville.org, and or our e-news, the email that comes out every Friday that will keep you up to date with what's happening in our space. So now I'm going to ask Cole Yarber to come forward and read the daily word. And Cole, you could use this mic. Thanks.
Comfort is the daily word.
Red light.
Make it green.
Now it's green. Can you hear me? Good. Comfort is the daily word. Loving memories comfort me. Let your steadfast love become my comfort according to your promise to your servant. Psalm chapter 119, verse 76. There may be days or maybe even weeks on the calendar when I find myself mysteriously feeling melancholy or blue, only to realize the anniversary of someone or something I have loved and lost is approaching. Even when I don't realize it outright, a part of me remembers and responds. I can honor these feelings as a way to honor the people and the places that have taught me and helped me to evolve. Welcoming my feelings brings deep and abiding comfort. I carry those people and places I love with me and in the things I do, keeping their spirit alive. Gradually, I find smiles within their sadness, or within the sadness. Revisiting treasured memories reveals the love within the loss. The presence of God is found within the gift of each moment, and I find comfort through my grateful heart. Loving memories comfort me. Comfort, again, is the daily word.
I'm glad I wore pants with a pocket today. The mic just fits nicely in there. Well, good morning. It's nice to be back with all of you. And yeah, it's good to see your smiles and feel in community again. It is May is Friendship Month at Unity, and I always feel like I'm among friends when I'm here. So thank you for your love. And I'd like to sing a song to introduce Reverend Polly's talk today. It's called If I Were Brave. What would I do if I knew that I could not fail? If I believed the wind would always fill up my sail, how far would I go? What would I achieve? Trusting the hero in me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where fools and dreamers dare to tread, and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What if we're all meant to do what we secretly dream? What would you ask for if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of a seed, are there miracles in you and me? If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where fools and dreamers dare to step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? If I refuse to listen to the voice of fear, would the voice of courage whisper in my ear? I am brave enough to walk the razor's edge where fools and dreamers dare to tread, and I'll never lose faith even when losing my way. What step will I take today? I am brave. I am brave. Oh, I am brave. We are all brave.
Thank you, Rebecca. Raise your hand if you feel brave. So I'd like to introduce Reverend Polly Dozier in a little bit more detail. She comes to us up. I turned this one off because I'm going to hand this to her. Thanks. I have a plan. She comes to us with myriad experiences. She's an emotional freedom technique coach and a life coach. She's been involved with Unity on all levels, local, state, and worldwide. And she's been in Russia doing all kinds of things. So we're so happy to have her join us today to talk to us about we are the ones who decide. Reverend Polly.
Thank you, dear. All right. Well, good morning. Good morning. Wonderful to see you all and for us to be here on this beautiful day. What a gorgeous Memorial Day weekend we have. And speaking of being brave, there you are. Do we have any veterans here today? Men or women who served in any of the armed forces?
Where's Phyllis?
She must be in the other room.
We don't have anyone?
We do in the other room.
Okay. Well, let's just take a moment and still bless them and think of them as we close our eyes, and just perhaps you have someone in your family, a relative, or maybe a friend. And all over the country, we are thinking of them, loving them, grateful for them, and all that they have done in service for us. And so we say we love you, we bless you, and we honor you. Together, we love you, we bless you, and we honor you. And so it is. Amen. All right. Well, I want to tell you a little story to begin with. It happened years ago to me. It was a real interesting thing. I was in Minneapolis with my husband. We were serving the Unity Church of Minneapolis, and we hadn't been there very long. We'd just gotten there, actually. And so I wasn't familiar really with the neighborhood that we were in. And as it turned out, on this particular evening, my husband had the car and had gone off to the radio station to do a radio program for Unity for us. And so I had to do the Wednesday evening prayer service. And so I thought, oh, well, you know, he'll take me to the church and then I'll just get a ride home with someone. Well, that sounds like a good plan. But you know how things are at the church. You go and you are talking to everybody, and all of a sudden, they've gone somehow, mysteriously, and you didn't tell anybody you needed a ride, and there you are. And so I had to figure this out, and it was nothing to figure out. It was just about walking home. And I figured that wouldn't be so bad. Wasn't that far. But, you know, I had worn these red high heels, and they were high. And to make matters worse, I had on this thin pencil skirt. Do you remember those? You know, so I just had to sort of walk, you know, sort of like that with itsy bitsy, well, they weren't really itsy bitsy, but they were short steps. And so I got out on Lyndale Avenue. Anyone here from Minneapolis? Well, Lyndale Avenue is a pretty busy street, and down the area that I was walking in, it was residential, but the cars whizzed by. And I began to notice that a number of the cars had folks in them who were saying things to me, yelling out the window with hoping to get my attention or something. You know, they were, I think you can figure out what I'm trying to say. And all of a sudden, as I was walking, this car ahead of me screeched to a halt, and this fellow jumped out, and he came running at me like a football player, and he was going to catch the ball. You know, that was me. And I just froze, sort of, turned within immediately, and stood there. And I began to feel all this wonderful, beautiful light all around me. And I just sort of opened my eyes to see what he was doing, and he had stopped. And he was standing there like this, with his mouth open. And I don't know, of course, what he saw, but what he saw stopped him. He must have seen the light that was with me, and maybe something else. I have a sense of what that was, but I'll let you figure that out. And so thankfully, he turned around immediately, ran back, and jumped in his car, and they took off. So I was greatly relieved to walk the rest of the way home. And it taught me a tremendous lesson that I don't think I'll ever forget. And the lesson for me was that when we do our prayer work, our meditation work, we are guided and we are tuned in and we know what to do. Because if I thought about it, who would have, you know, thought of just standing still and turning within? Most people wouldn't have done that. I don't think. What do you think? But I was protected. Spirit was definitely with me that night. And Spirit's been with me on a number of other occasions when things were a little dicey. And I've been very grateful. Spirit is always with us. You know, we had a saying, in unity, silent unity. I don't know if you're familiar with silent unity, is our prayer department at Unity School of Christianity. And I started to say thousands, but maybe it's millions of people contact there for prayer. And so when I was there as a student minister, I did work in the prayer room and as a letter writer. And when I was there, we were doing 40,000 letters a week. Those were individually crafted letters that we sent out to people who asked for prayer. And one of the sayings that was very familiar to all of us was, "Are you prayed up? Are you prayed up?" And that sounds sort of corny, perhaps, but it meant something to us. It meant, for example, what I had been doing before I had that little incident on the walk home. I was meditating. I had meditated for about an hour with the folks at Unity of Minneapolis. And so I was prayed up and grateful for it. And so this morning when I talk with you about a subject that I think we need to talk a little bit more about, and that is fear. Because we're just sort of inundated by our media right now. It's never been quite this intense, I don't think. When you listen to the stories or read them, or I see them on my iPhone, I'm just astounded at how much negativity they report. And sometimes the scary way in which they do all that. Does that ever bother you? I would think so. I would think you would be very aware of that. And so I'm concerned about the fear it engenders in people. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about that this morning with you and try to give you perhaps some thoughts about it. What can we do about fear? How can we transcend fear? And I think we need to answer that. That is an important question for us because fear is essentially the cause of our problems, of almost every problem that we have in the physical world. If we go back to the very basics of it, it's fear that causes us to get into the situations that we are in, most likely. Eric Butterworth, do you all know who Eric Butterworth is? He's written the most wonderful book, Discover the Power Within You, and he was one of our most outstanding ministers. And he always said, fear, F-E-A-R, is false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. So, for example, with that incident I mentioned earlier, anybody could have said, well, that fellow was going to do such and such to that gal and me, and that should be a fearful thing, but it wasn't, because I didn't focus on it in that way. I turned within and I focused on spirit. And so there really was nothing for me to be afraid of. Spirit was with me. I think most of us are not conscious so much of the time that we carry this fear. We say, oh, I'm just anxious, or I worry a lot. Well, what's at the bottom of all that? It's fear. It's fear. And so when we get serious about our growth, about our spiritual understanding, and how we really are responsible, we are the ones who decide everything really in consciousness, we begin to see that our words and our feelings and our actions are often expressing fear. And we just call the emotions we're feeling by some other name, like worry or anxiety. The Course in Miracles says there is nothing to fear. I think that I'm going to really work on just trusting the Course in Miracles, trusting God, and believe that. Our fears are illusions that we project onto the screen of life, just as Eric Butterworth said in so many words, false evidence appearing real. We could say that we ourselves are actually then the source of our fear, because it's our belief system, it's our ego that generates all this stuff that we become afraid of. So if we believe that there's only one power and one presence in my life, then our lives might just about be perfect, right? But hold off if you believe that, and then for a while you don't believe that, you have a mixed bag of consciousness, don't you? And so when you do that, you have some illusions, and you need to work on your belief system. And it's so important for us to be aware of what's going on with us and to check in with ourselves, to really look at our emotions and see what they are trying to tell us. Our emotions are the key to letting us know how we're doing. We usually find conscious and unconscious beliefs in our subconscious, which are running, you know, that part of the show that is telling us that we're not doing so well. And when a belief is totally embraced, it pictures itself in our life. We know that from our unity teachings. And if we don't believe something, or we just partially accept it, then it may not outpicture in our lives, or it may just begin to manifest to a lesser degree in our life. You know, if you listed all the amazing things that you believe about God, about the world, about yourself, what would be your present belief in all those things? It's kind of interesting to set aside some time and look at yourself and just see, well, am I giving this belief, this strong principle of unity, my full attention? Am I giving it the energy that I need to? It's a good exercise for you to do. We're all on the same path. We all have this same work to do. We want to eliminate as much fear from our lives as we can, because fear is the one energy that blocks the one power and presence. You could figure out one special belief that you're having difficulty with, and begin to set aside some time every day to give that some attention. What kind of attention do you want to give that? Well, sorry, I have a runny nose for some reason. I've been, yes, thank you, that's sweet of you. You give it the attention of meditation, of course, and prayer, and just alertness, consciousness. If you are trying to release something negative in your life, my suggestion to you would be not to work so much on figuring out how to get rid of the negative belief, you know, pulling out your sword and calling it out and saying, I'm going to, you know, do battle with you and I want you out of here, but rather to choose the emotion that you want to be feeling, joy, peace of mind, happiness, creativity, whatever it is, whatever state of mind you want to be in, and the thing that maybe that's attached to that you want to achieve, something you are trying to make manifest in your world, and go for that and focus on that. Focus on what you want. Focus on how you want to feel. In your meditation, always have time to state that as an intention. You know, we talk about affirmations and we talk about intentions, and intentions is sort of a new word that we have, and I like it because it's got a little more kick to it, you know. If I'm intending something, it means I'm going after it. I'm not just sitting here on my meditation stool or whatever it is and affirming my little prayer. I'm intending what's inside that prayer, and I'm going to take action that suits it, that matches it, because we know that meditation and prayer has to have action to follow it, right? We have to support it with what we do with our life. That's why we're here in physical form. I think it's very easy to forget that, you know. It's easy to just meditate and forget this outside world. But right now, in the here and now, we have to live, and we have to move forward and express that which we want to intend in our life. So focusing on what we want, focusing on how we want to feel is what is the key to manifestation. And in your meditation, at some point in it, is up to you, and it's according to the kind of meditation you're doing, but at some point, especially when you feel like you're reaching the high self, the higher, the super consciousness, the super conscious phase of mind, go into that intention that you have and say it and think it and visualize it on the screen of your mind. And do it for several minutes. And do it every day, because sometimes I think in unity we think we can just sort of tool along and whip out a meditation, an affirmation here or there, and that's all it takes. I think it takes a little more than that. It takes every day my attention should go to that which I've chosen to manifest. And it's not just my meditation, but after I have that affirmation or that intention fixed up, I want to use it during the day. I want to have it with me in my heart all the time. And, you know, whip it out in consciousness and say it or affirm it several times when there's extra moments in the day and, you know, we're waiting on an email or something to happen. We have a pause in our day and we go for it. So you saturate yourself, your consciousness, with what you want. So overcoming our worries and our anxieties and our fears is really about focusing on the beauty of life, on the good things, what we want to be experiencing. That is the fastest way to manifest what you want. You know, so long as we believe in our heart of hearts that our capacity is limited and we grow anxious and unhappy, we're lacking in faith. And one who truly trusts in God has no right to be anxious about anything. Now, that is not coming from me. That is coming from Paramahansa Yogananda. I don't know, are you familiar with him? You know, he's the author of The Life of a Yogi, and if you've never read the book, you're missing something quite amazing. So do you have an intention to have a stress-free, tranquil life? How dare I ask you, as though you didn't? But you know, when I was doing all this, getting ready for you, I thought, well, no, that's not been one of my intentions. In different moments it has been, but I haven't really consciously seen that as a long-term goal, but it is. It has to be. It's what we want, isn't it? Maybe you don't want tranquility, though. Maybe you would use a different word than that. Serenity? Well, that's awfully close to tranquility, isn't it? Well, you think about it, but I want to ask you today if you'd be willing to make a decision around this. Make a decision that one of your life affirmations is having a stress-free and tranquil life. Seems to me that that's something that most of us want, even though you may want to phrase that a little differently. But I'd like for you to just make that decision today while we're together. You know, our responses in life, to life, have to match what our true intentions are. And so if it's our intention to be stress-free, to be tranquil, then we can't run around angry all the time. We can't run around fussing at other people all the time. You know, we have to get into that perfect match between our emotions and our affirmations, our visualizations, our goals. You have a choice. You are the one who makes the decisions. You are the one who decides. You are the great decider of everything. It's a little irritating, probably, for you to hear me say that. But I have to say the truth, don't I? I think so. And that is the truth. We always have a choice. And so, do I stay with thoughts that produce stress within me, or do I work to bring in thoughts that make stress impossible? Our emotions are always, as I said, our guidance system, telling us whether or not we're creating resistance to our positive intentions or not. Feeling bad shows perhaps that we've lost contact with our high self. If you're feeling calm and free, you're probably in tune with the one. Focus is the key. Focus is always the key. Focusing on the truth that we want to embody in our life, to picture it, to visualize it, to meditate on it. Faith is the cessation of fear. Do you like that? Faith is a cessation of fear. If in the absence of fear, there is genuine surrender to positive possibilities. So I'm for that, and I hope you are too. It all comes out in our words, the words we speak, in what we think, of course, always first, what we say and what we do. For example, You might have been concerned about the stock market lately. What's it gonna do? And maybe you said, oh, I've lost so much money already, and worried about that. Well, instead, we could be thinking, God is my constant, instant, abundant source of supply. God is my constant, instant source of supply. Together, abundant. I left out abundant, sorry. Okay, let's try it. God is my constant, instant, abundant source of supply. I always have more than enough. I always have more than enough. Or maybe one of your things is overwhelm and doing too much, and you run around a lot saying, oh, I'll never get all this done. You ever done that? Uh-huh. And so we might say instead, I am at peace in this moment. I am at peace. Come on. I am at peace in this moment. I'll only think about the one thing I'm doing. I'll only think about the one thing I'm doing. That's a trick. I choose to have peaceful thoughts. I choose to have peaceful thoughts now. Now. I left off the now. Sorry about that. Maybe health is a huge concern for you. And you might catch yourself thinking, I worry about getting old and becoming dependent and sick. Instead, we want to say something like this. We want to think, I'm healthy and I think healthy. Together, I'm healthy and I think healthy. I live in a universe that is always sending me healing energy. I live in a universe that is always sending me healing energy. And I refuse to anticipate illness. Refuse to anticipate illness. And this last one, there are a few of us that may have concerns about our family, and we hear ourselves saying, my family is crazy and they're causing me to feel anxious and driving me nuts. I say that with a lot of energy because I may have some relationship to that statement. And so instead, I want to say, I choose thoughts that make me feel good. I choose thoughts that make me feel good. And that's my responsibility, isn't it? I'm the one who decides how I feel. You are the one who decides how you feel. And the worse you feel, the more important it is for you to decide to catch up with that. I allow my family to make their own decisions. I allow my family to make their own decisions. All right. There's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear. And so, having said that, let us just take this time for our meditation now. Just taking a nice, good, deep breath, breathing in the peace of God. Feeling comfortable as you are. Easily and peacefully. Just relax into this beautiful presence of love that is here for us. that is within us. And taking good, steady breaths, I let go and I feel comfortable right where I am. I let go and let myself feel comfortable right where I am in my life. I let my body feel comfortable in every way. I drink in this feeling of healing. The cleansing Christ light, which radiates through me, is like a healing shower upon me, pouring into every muscle and every bone and every tissue. I just received this beautiful light, this healing light of the Christ. The light permeates every cell in my brain and brings balance. I am calm. I am steady. Every cell in my physical being is balanced. I let all of my emotions which are not helpful just flow out of me now and into the light for transformation. The Christ light illumines me, illumines my mind, and directs my path. I am wise. And allowing yourself to just be in the beauty and the peace of this moment. Let us be in the silence. The harmonizing peace and power of God's love moves through me now, and I see it moving through the whole world. I visualize and bless all countries with peace. Let liberty, justice, peace, tolerance, and understanding work through each one of us. to bring about the brotherhood, the sisterhood that we all want. We praise God and give thanks for our guidance and our strength to stay positive and uplifted. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
Wow. That was incredibly deep and beautiful. Thank you, Reverend Polly. Whew. I'd like us all to dream bigger dreams. I'd like myself to dream bigger dreams. And I'd like to invite you into this song this morning called Big Life. Everybody reach up. Reach up for your big life and reach out all the way around. Yes, yes, it feels good. Oh. Are you one of those people who dream big dreams? Do you wonder if they're possible? Do you wonder what they mean? Well, if you have the courage to keep following your heart, you can do anything, no matter who you are. You can have a great big life. You can make a great big difference when you follow your heart, believe in yourself and chase your dreams. You can have a great big life. You can make a great big difference. You'll find a way, no matter what they say, you're capable of living a big life, living a big life. You're never too young, you're already great. You're kind and you're helpful. No, you don't have to wait, 'cause you have great ideas, and you know in your heart that you can make a difference. All you need to do is start. Let's put those big hands up. Come on, here we go. You can clap if you want. You can have a great big life. You can make a great big difference. But when you follow your heart, believe in yourself and chase your dreams, you can have a great big life. You can make a great big difference. You'll find a way, no matter what they say, you're capable of living a big life, of living a big life, living a big life. You know how to live a big life. Woo-hoo!
Thank you, Rebecca, and thank you, Reverend Polly. Who decides with me that I'm going to live a great big life? That's all. Wonderful. So at this time, we embrace the principle of giving as a spiritual practice. So you're invited to take your love offering in your hand, or imagine it if you've already put it in our prosperity box, or if you give online, or if you've given some other way. Just know that we're all giving. So as we hold our gifts and in love, then we'll bless them. So let's repeat the blessing. Divine love expressed in me, through me, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. So now just please hold the words of this prosperity prayer in your heart as I read them. Unity of Gainesville, Florida is richly blessed and in the flow of universal abundance. We give thanks that just the right people with loving hearts and skills to help us grow are attracted to join us. We accept the good that enriches us and all with whom we have contact. We are prosperous. Say that with me. We are prosperous, loving, healthy, and joyfully co-creating an abundant life. And so it is. And now it's time to welcome Miss Gwen and the children. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Well, today we celebrated Memorial Day and talked about, I asked them, I said, what special day is tomorrow? And they said, Father's Day. No, that'll be in June. Mother's Day's already happened. And I held this up and I said, this is a clue. And they said, Grandparents' Day. Which is kind of true, too. And we talked about what a veteran is and why we celebrate Memorial Day, that we will always remember. And we lit our lanterns in remembrance.
Beautiful. So let's bless Miss Gwen and these two beautiful human beings sitting here, and all the children everywhere in the world, those that come tripping up the steps with us from time to time, and those that we may never see in person, and repeat the blessing. Do we have? We don't have to repeat anything. Let's say the blessing together. Children, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we see the Christ's presence within you. We love you. We love you. We really, really love you. Mwah! So now let's form a circle around the sanctuary to sing our peace song and say our prayer for protection. Do you want to get in a circle with me? Okay. Okay.
The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is